What is going on, guys? It's your boy K-Mac here, and this is the time of the week for another one of those top 10 things that you didn't know about one of your favorite gaming franchise. And this week, as you can see, we are doing the Halo series, and the Halo series is one of my all-time favorites. I have not played the single player for Halo 1, but I do plan on getting the Combat Evolved, the one for Xbox 360 version of it soon, and playing it over Christmas break. I might even do a playthrough, of Halo 1, 2, 3, ODST, Reach, and then 4. I really want to play all three. I have like a huge hankering. But anyway, let's jump right into some of the things that you might not know about the Halo universe. Now, starting out at number 1, Halo was originally supposed to be a Mac exclusive until it was bought, or until Bungie was bought by Microsoft. All the games that Bungie had developed before Halo, some of their bigger titles, they were all just originally for Macintosh computers. They were all computer games, and it may have never found its way. I doubt that it would have never found its way, but it may have fallen between the cracks and never been picked up had it not been bought by Microsoft. Now, that's a really interesting thing to say. We could never have had a Halo universe had it not been for those. But moving on to number 2. During very, very early stages of development for the original Halo game, it was supposed to be a third-person shooter rather than a first-person shooter, more like a Gears of War over-the-shoulder type game. And I'm glad that they took that out. I'm a bigger fan of first-person shooters than I am of third-person shooters. And obviously, it worked out for the best, and this game became a billion-dollar franchise and one of the best-selling games of all time. And I am so glad that it was not an over-the-shoulder third-person shooter. It would have been so much different, and I don't know if it would have got the storyline across as good as the first-person view would have. Moving on to number 3 on the list. When the Halo 2 servers were eventually shut down on April 15th of 2012, there was over 37 billion kills performed and over 57,000 years spent in matchmaking. Those are mind-bendingly huge numbers, and it is crazy. Halo 2 was the first online shooter that I ever played personally. I remember I had it when I got my Xbox, and it was so amazing back in the day. It was the first thing I had ever experienced, and it was mind-blowing to think you could play with people that aren't in your house, that aren't playing on the same console, and you could talk to them and you can shoot them in real time. At that time was just groundbreaking and innovative, and it blew my mind, and it instantly got me hooked on first-person shooters, and I love that game to death. Our fourth interesting fact that you might not have known is that the original Halo multiplayer, the one Halo Combat Evolved multiplayer, was only playable 5 weeks before the game was launched. So they were cutting it like down to the wire. They were, they probably pulled an awful lot of overnighters, full overnighters, just to get that thing done. And it still wasn't perfect when it came out. It was still very buggy. There was a patch or two that had to come out with it, especially over on the PC side. But there was, no time to spare between that. Only 5 weeks. That's crazy. If they had missed that deadline, it may have pushed the game back completely, and it could have been totally different. It may not have sold as well, may not have caught on, and it may never have became the Halo universe that we know today. Another thing that people usually don't know is that Halo Reach and Halo Combat Evolved, so the first one and Reach, actually occur within 1 day of each other within the actual Halo series timeline. Now, Reach was, of course, a prequel to the first game, but it came out years and years later for the 360, and it actually, the events of that lead straight into the first Halo. So at the end of Reach, the Pillar of Autumn leaves Reach, and everyone else dies except for Chief on board. And at the beginning of it, you see the Pillar of Autumn coming out of subspace, and it is snap, it is bam, right back into that timeline. And it's very cool that they did that, and it's a very cool way of making a prequel game. I really enjoyed Reach, actually. But moving on to number 6 on the list. The original Halo Combat Evolved only had 3,000 lines of dialogue, whereas Halo 2 had 14,000 and Halo 3 had 39,000. The game's latest installment, Halo 4, had over 57,000 lines of dialogue, and really adds to it when the characters have different things to say when you bump into them, or you shoot around their feet or something like that. They say things like, "Whoa, watch your fire, check your fire." It really adds that great depth to this game that people come to enjoy so much. You get so immersed in it. But moving on to number 7 on the list. Halo ODST's original title was actually not that. It was actually called Halo Recon, but it was changed last second. I remember that seeing an E3 ad for it, and it was called Halo 3 Recon, and there was even a Recon helmet you could get for it, and everyone was all stoked for the new Halo game. It was called Recon, and they also had released a snippet of Reach at the time, and everyone was so pumped for the Halo universe, and then all of a sudden it switched over to Halo 3 ODST, and everyone was kind of confused for a while, but that ended up being the game. And it was actually an okay game. It wasn't my favorite Halo game of the franchise by any means, but it added a little bit of something. It was like a prequel to Halo 3, I believe. And you're an orbital drop shock trooper. It was alright. But moving on to number 8. The creators of Master Chief actually got their inspiration from none other than Power Rangers back when they were designing the original game, back when they were making the original sculptures and the original 3D models for Master Chief. They drew a lot of inspiration from Power Rangers and their kind of Mighty Morphin suits, and not really the suits, but the character models. They have the helmets on and they have the gear on. They kind of based it out loosely off that. I say loosely off that. Of course, he looks nothing like a Power Ranger. I'm not trying to compare the two in any way. I'm just saying that they drew a little bit of information off of that with the helmets and the armor and stuff like that. And that is also why he's green. They really went for the green Power Ranger, and supposedly that is where they got their design information for Master Chief. Moving on to number 9 on the list. Not everyone is quite aware of just how big Master Chief is. Now I know every time, and there's always the cutscenes in the games when Master Chief or the other Spartans in like this game, like Reach, they walk by and everyone's like, "Whoa, they're taller than I thought they would be. They're so huge." You hear that, you see that, but you don't really, contemplate just how big these people are. And we are talking over 7 feet tall, over 500 pounds, and just an absolute beast, monster of a human being, and it is mind-blowingly huger than anything has ever been done in our time, obviously because this is fake, but also it goes along with their armor. It's many times being quoted the armor weighs at least a half a ton or more, so that's 1,000 pounds or more of just armor, and that is crazy. And to move that much armor, you would have to be that big. You would have to be 7'5". You would have to weigh 450 pounds or more, and just be a pure muscular, specimen of a man to do this. And not a lot of people really, realize that, they're 2 to 3 feet taller than a normal human, and they're 4 to 5 times bigger in weight and muscles, and it's really, really cool to think about that. But moving on to our last and final fun fact of the day. It has been reported that the developing team for Bungie, while developing Halo 3, has eaten over 20,000 pounds of pizza and drank over 24,000 gallons of Mountain Dew. That is crazy. The amount of Pizza Hut and Mountain Dew that is absolutely mind-blowing. Only in a 3.5 year span, keep that in mind as well. So that's like about 4 to 5 pizzas a day worth between, there's only 145 people working on this. Those numbers are mind-blowing as well. And that's pretty much it for this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys enjoyed these fun facts videos, you guys can go ahead and leave a like. It'd be very much appreciated. As always, if this video gets to 500 likes, I'll go ahead and put out next week's video a day early for you guys. And speaking of next week's video, I want to know which series you guys want to see next. Do you guys want to see the Mario? Or do you guys want to see Gears of War? Go ahead and leave a comment telling me any game series that you guys would want to see next. And if you guys are new around here, you guys can feel free to subscribe to my channel so you get all of these videos in your sub box weekly. I do all kinds of videos. I do game theories, I do cartoon conspiracy theories, I do real life theories, I do these videos, and all kinds of real life stuff and stuff like that too. So like I said, make sure you guys are dropping a like and subscribing. And as always, guys, game the fuck on. Until next time, peace out.
Attack this objective!